The Vanishing of Eli Mercer, Part 4. When a missing person case goes cold, investigators often shift their focus to forensic timelines, the sequence of decisions, movements, and physical evidence left behind. Sometimes the timeline reveals a simple truth. The victim got lost. The victim got injured. The victim succumbed to the elements. Not this time. Because in the case of Eli Mercer, the timeline did not explain what happened. It broke it. It made the story impossible. Don't forget to subscribe for more interesting stories. 2 years after the investigation officially closed, a retired search coordinator named Caleb Thorne, a man with 32 years of field experience, requested full access to the case files. He wasn't hired to do this. He wasn't writing a book. He wasn't filming anything. He simply couldn't let the case go. And when he laid all of the GPS data, witness statements, canine logs, weather records, and recovery site reports side by side, something jumped out immediately. A gap, then 2, then 3. A series of movements, placements, and distances that did not align with human capability. The first gap, the boot, between September 15th and Maria 15th at 9 ayat, and at September 16th at 3 p.m., rescuers swept the drainage and ridge where Eli's boots were later found. Both teams recorded nothing present. No prints, no gear, no scorch marks from a fire, no melting from burnt straps, no scent detected by dogs. Then suddenly, on the morning of September 17th, the boots appeared, perfectly placed, next to a fresh fire pit. Thorne circled this on the timeline. Gear cannot appear in a place that was empty 24 hours earlier. Someone placed it there, or Eli walked back to a site already searched and left items behind without tracks, scents, or prints. Something virtually impossible. On loose shale and sand. The second gap, the backpack. The backpack was found 3 miles east of the boot site, in terrain so steep and fractured search teams had originally avoided it. Dogs were deployed there for scent sweeps. They hit nothing. No trace of Eli's odor. No article alerts. No sign a human had passed through. But 9 months later, the pack turned up like a staged scene, leaning perfectly, undisturbed, completely dry, not faded enough for 9 months in the sun, and inside, food, weapon, tools, all untouched. Thorne flagged this immediately. If the pack sat there for 9 months, the food would deteriorate, animals would tear in, and the fabric would fade. It hadn't. It appeared recently placed. The third gap. The remains location. This was the most disturbing inconsistency of all. The remains were located 11.2 miles from the GPS ping, 6.4 miles from the boots, 3 miles uphill from the pack, and nearly 1,000 feet of elevation above the backpack site. This meant, after abandoning his boots, Eli traveled barefoot for at least 6 miles, then climbed 1,000 feet in elevation. This is nearly impossible for a healthy person, let alone hypothermic, exhausted, suffering exposure, barefoot on granite and cactus patches, in freezing night temperatures. Yet Thorne uncovered something stranger. According to decomposition analysis, Eli likely died within 72 hours of the storm. But if this is true, then none of the item placements fit the timeline. Boots appear on day 3. Pack is found 3 miles away. Remains are almost 7 miles from the boots. The distances don't match the survival window. The timings don't match the decay. The placements don't match the searches. Thorne introduced a new term into his internal report. The shadow window. This referred to a 36-48-hour period where the timeline simply could not account for Eli's movement. There were no tracks, no dogs alerted, no witnesses, no disturbance of ground, no environmental indicators. In that span, Eli would have had to return to the boot site undetected, build a fire, burn pack straps, remove his boots, travel 3 miles through deadly terrain, place his pack neatly, leave full food rations behind, climb 1,000 feet without boots or gear, pass directly above a ranch offering easy rescue, and walk to his final resting place, all while suffering cold, fatigue, and injury. Thorne summarized, "The movement pattern is inconsistent with human survival, behavior, and exceeds physical capability under environmental conditions observed. This wasn't speculation. This was math, data, measured distance, timed weather events, recorded searches. Something was wrong, very wrong." The overlooked radio clip. While reviewing audio logs, Thorne discovered a tiny detail missed during the initial investigation. A radio transmission at 3:12 p.m. on September 15th, when the storm was moving in. Luke attempted to ping Eli's GPS walkie. Eli responded, "Hold on, give me a minute." Those were the last words recorded. The transcription originally listed the line as incomplete due to static. Thorne listened closely, using audio isolation. After there was a faint, almost whispered second syllable. Not quite a word, not quite noise. Something like, "here" or "near," followed by rapid wind. This clip haunted Thorne. The theory. He never put in the final report. Thorne developed a personal theory, never submitted officially, but written in the margins of his private notebook. Not paranormal, not supernatural, not mystical, but human. A second party, someone else present in the mountains that day. Someone Eli saw or heard. Someone whose presence caused Eli's sudden directional change. The abandonment of gear, the strange, deliberate placements, the walk away from the ranch, the removal of boots, and the irrational climb into terrain that guaranteed death. Thorne's note read, "All signs suggest an additional human presence between the last GPS ping and the first evidence site. Not an animal, not weather, not disorientation alone." He believed Eli wasn't alone, not lost, not confused, but following, or being led, or being forced. Something, or someone, was influencing his decisions, and the timeline supported it. The further Thorne dug, the stranger the contradictions became. Contradiction 1, the fire pit. Fresh, hot enough to melt nylon, no tracks around it. Contradiction 2, the pack. Positioned carefully, unfaded, not torn by animals, not scavenged, found in a place previously searched. Contradiction 3, the thermos. Placed precisely, facing the ranch, never tipped or disturbed. Contradiction 4, the feet. Never recovered, not scattered, not buried, simply absent. Contradiction 5, the uphill climb. No survival logic supports moving away from shelter in those conditions. Contradiction 6, the lack of injuries. No breakage, no trauma, no sign of fall or attack. Contradiction 7, the phone. Powered off, not empty, not used to call for help. Together, the contradictions painted a disturbing picture. Eli wasn't behaving like someone trying to survive. He was behaving like someone reacting to instructions. Invisible, illogical, desperate, or someone trying to avoid being found by someone else. The unasked question, if Eli Mercer was alone in those mountains, the timeline collapses under its own weight. But if he wasn't alone, everything falls into place. The documentary pauses on a slow zoom of the Sierra Verde ridge where the pack was found. Wind howls, heat ripples, then silence. If you have thoughts or theories, leave them below. And as always, stay safe out there.